Hey everyone, today's Tuesday, July 28th, and it's Tuesday of the 17th week of Ordinary Time. Welcome to my backyard. It's beautiful out here, so peaceful, and the weather's been so glorious the past few weeks. It's perfect for gardens, and looking at my flowers, they look pretty good right now. Over the weekend, I peeked at the Garden of Mercy at the church. I'm so full of veggies and life, and you walk through the neighborhood and everyone's flowers and flower beds look so lush and beautiful. I love this time of the year. But this weather has also been perfect for weeds. And I have to admit, I have a few in my garden. Have you ever noticed how many different kinds of weeds there can be? Some are actually kind of pretty. Some are viney and they tend to take over. Some have shallow roots, they're easy to take out. Some have deep roots and really thick branches. Some are prickly and they're hard to grasp. Some smell good, some smell really bad. Some like the shade, some like the sun. Weeds are a funny thing. The poet Ralph Waldo Emerson once said, "What is a weed? A weed is a plant whose virtues have not yet been discovered." In today's gospel from Matthew, Jesus says that our life, our world, is like a field in which weeds and wheat and weeds grow together. Good and evil, life and death, happiness and sadness all grow together. Beautiful flowers next to terrible weeds. What does Jesus say to do about the weeds? He says, let them grow. You don't really know the virtues of a weed, do we? The weed might be useful at some point. Sometimes the weeds look like wheat, and the wheat looks like weeds. Better just leave it, as the separation's not always clear. At the end of the age, the weeds will be judged. It's not our place to do it. We don't have to give energy to that. Jesus is patient, giving the weeds and the wheat time to see what grows and what develops, just like God gives us time to grow and develop and learn. To me, this means that with this time, I should look closely at the weeds in my own bed. Am I sowing wheat or weeds in my everyday life? Where are the areas where there are weeds? Where are the weeds taking over? Which needs need to be dug out and by the root so that something else can grow? What do I really want to change in my life? I think none of us really wants to be growing weeds, but they do have a way of appearing, right? Especially in the middle of a beautiful, beautiful day when everything seems to be going right, all of a sudden, if you take notice. And sometimes it's just the small habits that go without much thought. It's just sometimes so easy to say, oh, I'm just too tired to, you fill in the blank, help somebody else, learn about some issue, be involved in something, or I'm just too tired. I'm too busy. I'm too busy to take care of my neighbor. I'm too busy to call that friend I haven't talked to in a while. These habits, they take away from what we really could and should be. Suddenly we're not living the way God intended us to. The weeds take over. We have to take time to identify the weeds. How deeply rooted are they? Do we want to get them out so good plants can grow in that space? Taking time for personal reflection each day is a good habit that'll help us grow and become what we're meant to be. It can be as simple as each night taking some time to think about our day, to reflect on where we saw God and what we were thankful for, and also to notice where we fell short and where we want to try a little bit harder tomorrow. In today's first reading, the prophet Jeremiah was doing what prophets do. He's speaking for God. At a time of darkness and uncertainty, there's famine and death. And as people are living through a pandemic today in these times, we can recognize that times of turbulence and chaos are just a part of life from the Old Testament to now. And we too, like the prophet, may ask, as in today's reading, why have you struck us a blow that cannot be healed, God? Where are you? But our faith calls us to look to God for healing and hope. Pope Francis once said, although the life of a person is in a land full of thorns and weeds, there's always a space in which the good seed can grow. You have to trust God. And isn't that true? Sometimes in the worst moments of our lives, we come out stronger and better at the end of it. Sometimes in the worst things that happen in the world, great disasters, great creativity and things come out of it. Just don't know the virtue of a weed, do we? As the prophet taught us and as Jesus taught us, we have to have trust. And within us, there's a space where good seed can grow. Um, we have to look for that within us, and we have to look in that and around people around us. How are we helping them support their good seed and help that grow? This is the last week of July, and it's hard to believe how much our lives have changed over the past few months. Some ways good, and in some ways challenging. But the steady and sure thing is that God is always with us and always will be. Wishing you a peaceful day.